Well, hey guys, welcome back to the Inscendo Effect. Brooke Beasley here. Got with us Brett Bortz. Thanks for joining us. Brett's actually one of my business partners here with Inscendo. That's the name of our management company for businesses. And I feel super honored that you've taken some time to sit with me to talk about business, but also specifically systems and what systems mean to us.
I might be your partner, but I'm also your brother.
You are. Technically, there's some family blood there. The four partners in Inscendo are all family. And we've talked with Brennan on the last episode. If you missed it, go check it out on YouTube. You can follow our YouTube, Inscendo YouTube account. Make sure you check us out and follow us on all the social sites, right? So Instagram, Facebook, you can find us there. And you got to follow us for updates. We've got some technology we're going to be releasing as a beta project in the next few months. You don't want to miss it, okay? If you missed that first episode ever was with Brennan, an AI engineer. He's the one developing the CRM that we have about ready to launch here in a bit. AI is changing the game, guys. And if we don't get behind it, you get left behind.
Yeah.
So definitely make sure you check that out. And here on the Inscendo Effect, we're going to learn how to rise above.
Yeah, I love it. AI is honestly, everyone keeps saying it's the future. It's really not. It's the present. If you're not using it right now, you're currently being left behind. You got to use it as of yesterday.
That's
today,
right.
not tomorrow.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
Good point. You will be left behind if you're not already trying to learn how to prompt it and use it in your day-to-day. And today we're going to talk about systems, and not just systems like we talked about last time, AI systems specifically, but systems in businesses, both processes inside of a company and technology. And I think the main thing that we need to talk about is the philosophy of it. You know, what is it about a system that can empower people? And when you think of system, what comes to mind for you?
Yeah. Well, I just came back from the WAC event. If you're a farmer's agent, you know what that is, Western Agent Conference. They had me speak over there about the path to a mega agency. And one of the topics we went over is systems. And systems are definitely what we have to build out as we start to scale. So as we scale our agency, we have to have systems in place. And you'll notice when your systems break down, as you hire people, your systems will break down because your current systems you have in place are meant for your current size of your agency.
Right.
So as you build and scale, those systems will constantly develop and change. So sometimes your team will be like, well, we used to do it this way. It's like, well, now we have to do it this way because we have more people involved. That hey, pass over the shoulder, you got to lead in the workflow right now for you to work doesn't really work because you have a 10 team person that has different offices. You can't just turn around and talk to them anymore. Not all the time. Or if they have people working from home. So got to have like for that instance, an internal chat feature that's reliable to talk to your team.
That's right.
But
so as you scale, your systems have to scale, which is very true. And you know, I forgot to introduce you.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about what you do for the Inscendo Group. So the Inscendo Group for managing agencies, Brett is in charge of basically helping to run our agencies, property and casualty agencies in H-Town, Texas.
H-Town?
And so he runs the agencies over there, and of course has a lot of experience not only building a team, but integrating systems into scaling a team as well.
Well, I have pretty good mentors too.
We all work together on that. It's been we've got a great team. And you know, one thing that comes to mind is that systems, a lot of people think systems are sometimes a hindrance, or maybe the word system or technology scares people, but really it can empower people.
Yeah.
And so I'd love to know what you think. That idea, do you think it limits creativity or limits growth, or do you really believe in its efficiency to help grow people?
Yeah. Well, as we were saying, I want to go back real quick. You were saying about scary people. I think that's true. I think some people hear technologies or AI and stuff, and it seems very overwhelming. I mean, when I was presenting at WAC this last week, that's one thing I kept hearing. People kept coming up to me. It's like, hey, you had a lot of information. And I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I think it was a bad thing probably, but it was a lot. And it's a lot for me even too. And that's why we have to employ the right people around us to help us out with all that. It's not like I know everything. I certainly don't learn from the people around me. But when you start to utilize it in your daily life, it starts to become more regular and more second nature. but yeah, the systems we have, I'm sorry, I lost track what your question was.
Well, this idea that systems don't limit anybody, that they empower people.
Creativity on systems. So I
Yeah.
think systems allow us to be creative. I think it's the exact opposite. So I think we originally think that systems can be used to take away our creativity. I think you can use systems to increase your creativity. I mean, and if we're talking about systems, not just systems as far as systems in place you have within your agency, right, to where you have your team working together, like systems between them, but also your tech systems, right, like our CRM, Inscendo IQ. Inscendo IQ is like a system we use to work our leads efficiently and effectively. So,
Right.
but it allows us to be creative on how those leads need to be worked, and build stuff out like that. So I think you can actually get more creativity more creative with the systems you have in place. I mean, I think this podcast, we're using
Yeah.
systems in place to make it. So
Yeah. And I think that too, creativity is everything that you think it might be when it comes to thinking outside the box. So if you have a system and it's at your fingertips, how are you using it? What are you thinking outside the box to use it with? Like, how are you prompting it? Right. So creating workflows that do the remedial tasks for you.
Yeah.
I wrote down drip campaigns, mass texting. Like, these are all things that if you're not doing those things or using those things in your business today, you need to, because you're going to be behind the 8 ball if you don't. So anything you can use to maximize the technology in front of you, or maximize the process in front of you by thinking creatively and outside the box on how you can maximize it, then you're going to be just fine with this technology coming at us. And you'll help your team continue to grow, which will, of course, create loyalty.
Some of the best business owners I've seen with like AI and stuff are ones that are naturally really creative. And I'm not a creative person. I'm good at like thinking out things in small ways. Good at thinking of things like the small details. I'm really good at small details. That's like, I think the small details is what makes up the bigger details, the big picture. But I'm not good at creativity in the sense of actual creative art, right? Creative work. And I have to bring people in to help with that, right? To help make that lack. So
thinking outside the box. When I say creativity, I mean like thinking about how you can use a tool or a system in your favor and not against you. And we talked earlier about mass workflows or drip campaigns, mass texting. I want to mention that you got to follow state laws and federal guidelines before you just implement those TCPA laws. So make sure that you understand those. If you don't, reach out to us. Brett specifically has done a lot of research there and worked with our attorneys to kind of understand what that looks like and how you can still be within those guidelines and be efficient.
Yeah. So fun fact, there's almost no attorneys that specialize in TCPA laws. So very difficult to find people that really, really know their stuff. Those are things you definitely want to be part of, because it can cost you millions.
You do. And as you scale, we're talking about scaling and growing your business. With this technology coming out, you got to know how to use it the right way too. Otherwise, you could get stuck in a lawsuit.
Honestly, like with leads, ask about leads. People, you just buy trusted leads from trusted lead sources. You don't really have to worry about much. So
but the thing is, like, people should be getting away from buying leads. We're in a technology age where you can use some creativity and systems to generate interest. And so hopefully people will take that away, if nothing else, from this conversation is, hey, think creatively about what's at your fingertips and start creating your own interest, generate interest in the community around you. Social is everywhere, and we're starting to get into that more. Let's think a little bit more practically as leaders about how we can implement meaningful systems. Okay. The first question I have here says, what's the first step a leader should take before automating anything? What do you think that?
When we're automating stuff, before I automate it, I want to make sure that it can't. I try to think out anything that can't break, that could go wrong. We need to make sure that, like for our CRM and Inscendo IQ, I need to make sure that when we're automating leads, when a customer, for example, automation text message, I think a lot of us are familiar with that at this point. When someone responds to those text messages, where is it going to go after that? What type of responses are going to go where? So for instance, we have an automation inside Inscendo IQ that removes people that we call dead to me leads that are like, not interested, no, not right now, give me a call in a year. People that are kind of pushing us off. They're not necessarily hard-nosed, they're more not interested, right? Which we all know we can still sell some of those. So what we do is we have them go into another bucket a temporary bucket that goes through another recycle campaign. And we also have our internal AI work those leads still, messaging them, maybe sending a low ball message or something to try to get their interest, to see if they're actually still interested. We've closed deals, people that say not interested, and the AI says, okay, sounds good. I do want to ask you why though. What if we could save you X amount of money or whatever like that? And then they may respond, and it comes back into the main workflow or the main page, I guess, or bucket for the team to pull the leads from. So essentially is finding ways to maximize the efficiency of your sales team.
I love that. Great. Well, and I think that your first point, that what will break, is an excellent tool as a leader. We need to be thinking about ways to minimize issues for our team. Because if you always can be ahead of that and be thinking, what is going to break? What are going to be potential problems, and being ahead of the 8 ball there, then you're setting yourself up for success. So I like that. That was good.
Yeah.
I wrote that one down.
Yeah, I would like to say also, we are currently at our office right now. And in fact, we thought it'd be fun. We did this podcast office in the actual exit room, right, between the
hallway.
agency. So you'll see some of our team members leave throughout the day and headed out. So we thought that would be more natural, which I like.
Might be something that will break, as we're talking about systems and processes that could break, thinking ahead of time on those. That might not have been the best way to do it. But that's what we got, and that's what we're here.
Yeah, as business owners, we got to pivot.
That's right.
You got to figure things out.
Be flexible. Talking about flexibility, I think another good question to kind of bring to the table is, how do we balance structure with flexibility? Because as you're building a system out, for you to have to balance, hey, this is what our process is going to look like. Yeah. And we have to follow this process, because if we don't, it'll break something.
Yeah.
Or it will be outside of guideline or outside of state laws.
Yeah.
But also just being flexible so people can kind of learn what their lane is.
This chair really leans back. So we're actually pretty lenient. We're pretty lenient when it comes to our stability or so in the office structure. We're pretty lenient with the team. We do believe office culture is a very big, ingredient. Like talk about the secret sauce. I think office culture is very important. Office environment. I think we all agree on that. And really, that just comes from us being really lenient about a lot of stuff. Probably more than I've seen. Probably more than we should. And that has bit us in the butt at times. But I also think it's what makes our environment so fun, and why people want to keep coming back even when they leave. We have good retention too for our sales team.
Right. I think so too. Yeah. I mean, you have to have some structure, some process to keep your business running, and some
100%.
Basic processes in place.
But be lenient where you can be.
That's right.
I think that's where it comes back.
You know what? I heard the saying one time. I thought it was really good. It said, "Say yes when you can say yes."
Yep. Yeah.
Why say no when you could say yes?
Yeah. 100%.
And that goes for parenting, if you're a parent out there, and it goes for leading a team. And I'm not to compare our team to children, because they're not. They're all adults. But there is something to be said about making sure that your culture always comes first. And if you don't have to have a process for every little thing, and you don't have to be a micromanager for every single process, and you can kind of put some basic process in place and let people find their own, there's something to that.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. I'm probably too lenient.
We are. We definitely could use a little bit more. We always say that we're big believers in second chances, but not 10 chances or 12. At some point, you got to lay the
definitely big believer in second chances.
Lay the line in the sand, What are some signs that a system is broken?
Oh gosh.
What are some signs that
honestly, sometimes you don't even know something's broken until like months later. I built automation inside our CR before, and we didn't even know. I can't think of one right now, but I promise you, I have broken many things on our CRM, and we did not know. Emails. Our email delivery, when customers were emailing us back, it was going into a different profile. So for like 2 weeks, or for a month, I would say, actually, it was like a whole month. I was like, why are we not getting any responses to our email automations? And I was like, maybe we were flagged as spam or something. Well, I found out, I was like, that's not an issue. I found out I was going into a whole nother one of our portals. And I was like, oh my gosh. So we had like dozens and dozens of responses of clients trying to get quotes in via email that were all old now. I didn't realize till like over a month later. I think it was, it was bad actually. So lost all leads that
Sometimes
way.
that happens. Yeah. When you set
Yeah.
something new up,
So
especially a system or workflow.
sometimes you just don't know until it happens, and you have to be willing to accept that. Some of us are trying to be
Right.
too perfect, like, no, this has to be right, or this won't work. If you can get something to 80 or 90% of the result, that's usually good enough. And sometimes you just have to go with it. And then if something breaks along the way, good. You just pick it up on the moving train and you throw it right back on until you get a chance to weld it back together, because you just got to keep that train moving. Our income and our livelihoods are based on sales mainly for most of us, right? Retaining our business and our clients. And
Right.
so we
Good
have
advice.
limited money and limited time. We can't sit here trying to think of everything to make something perfect. So
Yeah.
keep things simple, just keep moving, break things. You should break things, and as it falls off, you'll throw it back on the train. Keep going.
That's so true. That's a good point. And we are big believers in that for sure. Like, hey, get a process moving and we'll tweak it and get it
Yeah.
perfect as time goes
100%.
on. And it might not ever be perfect.
Yeah.
Things are always changing constantly in the insurance world. My gosh.
Yeah, I know this is hitting someone out there. You just stop trying to make it perfect and just make it happen. Right? That's business owners, and entrepreneurs are doers. Sure, there's doers and thinkers. A lot of entrepreneurs are more doers than they are thinkers.
Get it started.
Yeah,
That's a very good point. Yeah, and going back to how do you, what are the signs that a system is broken? I think the way you figure that out is putting something in place to see what you are missing. Sometimes
Yeah,
you'll never know what
that's
those
true.
missing pieces are, or the things that you over analyze and you think too long about end up being something that wasn't a big deal to begin with. So get something moving, and then you'll
Yeah.
determine what's broken.
I agree.
Just make sure the things that can't be broken, for you not to have a massive lawsuit on your hands or no revenue coming in, those things are thought through.
Yeah,
The smaller details, that's very good advice. I
yeah.
like that a lot.
Consistent issues is a kind of a trigger.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
That's a
very
nice thing.
good.
Yeah.
I also think that sometimes empowering your team to know that, hey, we're going to put a
Yeah, I should
process in
always do
place that might not be perfect,
Yeah.
but you know what? We're getting something moving and we're getting that train started, like you said, because a lot of times this idea in office culture is that they must be perfect, that they're afraid to disappoint the boss, that they're afraid to
Yeah, I do agree.
drop the ball and not try something. It's like, hey guys, we need to be encouraging our teams
Mhm.
and our people that work with us. Try something new. Go out on the ledge and just try something new. Be willing to make a mistake to learn that that's part of success.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, we don't even really work together much anymore. Like, I think a lot of people think that we're in the office together all the time. We have multiple locations, so I don't even get to see her much. And we still have the same type of practices to run businesses. We might be partners on multiple businesses, but I don't really know what you're doing, on your side much at all. And you don't really know a ton that we're doing over here. I mean, I guess you help build the foundation of it though. So,
Yeah.
but things have changed since then.
Yep.
And it's
Constantly
kind of
changing.
interesting how we still have the same beliefs of what works and doesn't work because we've seen it. So speaking about that, we know what works and doesn't work. There might be some things that we put a leader in charge of and they want to do something that we know doesn't work. Sometimes I'm willing to let them do that instead of fight them on that. And I'll give them the power to do that and let them make that mistake that I believe they will make, that I made. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes they figure out to do better, or sometimes they hit the wall and they say, oh, wow, okay, I see why, Brett did not want to do it this way now. But they need to know why in order to fully be on your side of things.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just tell, do to someone. They lose their creativity side and they lose their belief in that reason why is you have them do something. So I think them sometimes tripping and figuring things out is important for them. It costs you money, but it may make you more in the long run if you plan to keep that person around for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, think about you. When you could bring something to the table when you're developing something. So when the partners get together and we're talking about for Inscendo, hey, let's try this. Or what do you think about this? When we can all come together and pitch in ideas and be a part of that conversation, there's buy-in. Yeah. So if you can get buy-in from your team when you're building or developing something, man, that builds so much trust and loyalty for sure. So I agree with that completely. And you said something a minute ago. Dang it, I wish I would have jotted down a note because I knew I'd forget it.
Building differently, like allowing someone to trip and fall in your team to put in power, empowering your leadership.
Speaking about how we build things over here, this is what we do.
Yeah.
Hey, what did I say?
Down. You just start spitfiring it off. Pretty good at it usually.
But yeah, I think that there's a lot to be said about involving your team in developing something, any kind of process or system.
Yeah.
Making sure that your team knows that they can make a mistake. It's okay. It's part of developing a culture of being creative, is that when you're creative, sometimes things don't always work out. An idea, for example, would be our marketing. extraordinaire Melissa for all of our companies
Yeah.
is
Can help
phenomenal
learn a lot.
at coming up with creative ideas, and you never want to cramp someone's idea if you don't know it's going to make you lose a lot of money.
Mm.
So if you know it's going to make you lose a lot of money,
Yeah.
maybe
I'm
explain
gonna step
why
in
you
more,
think
for
it's a bad
sure.
idea.
For sure.
Not even a bad idea, but why their specific roadmap to
Yeah.
that goal is not going to work. Maybe there's a different route to get there.
Yeah.
But if you're not sure it's going to make you lose money, give it a shot. Give it
Yeah.
a 1 week, 2 week trial period. We did some Facebook ads recently and we weren't sure if it was going to work. So we tried still ads, we tried video, and Melissa was willing to try all of it. And so were we, because
Yeah.
we threw a $50 per week, $200 per week budget. That's not going to break the
Yeah.
bank, right? And let's figure out what gets the most views. And out of those ad sets, now we know.
Yeah.
Videos.
Well, fun fact, videos do better than pictures. Lost a
Who
lot
knew?
of money on pictures. We'll save you money there, because that was horrible. And we also found on Facebook ads, niche languages typically do better than English. So if you're doing Facebook ads in English, they usually perform, at least that we've seen, less or worse than like Spanish or Vietnamese or another
Yeah,
language.
good
Mandarin.
point. So, hey, if you got someone that speaks another language in your
Yeah.
office, use that strength and that learn more button. Learn more instead of get a quote now, or learn more instead of
Yeah,
register
I
now.
would say try both. I think
Sign up.
certain types of products, maybe Life might be better with learn more.
Yeah,
I think
I
On
guess it
Home is more
depends.
transactional, so you want to get a quote now.
I think a
But
lot of people want to
I don't
learn
know.
more when they click a button to determine what's next
Possibly.
instead of just signing their life
I
away.
haven't seen
And
what
I'm
works
talking about
better.
Melissa like she's not sitting here in the room with us.
Yeah.
It's been a process, huh, Melissa? But it's been fun. Okay, a couple things that come to mind when we talk about systems that serve people well in their ability to be creative, but also still offer some bit of structure. Group Me. If you guys aren't using Group Me within your team to communicate
Or
information,
Teams, Slack, something.
right? Group Me is an easy app that everybody can put on their phone. Teams, Slack work well with some of the platforms out there, but you need a program that will alert people when there's a message. We use internally
Yeah.
and or on their cell phones, but yeah, internally.
Yeah, internal message between team members. Yeah.
Internal
Support
messaging might not be perfect for Group Me, but let's say you want to send a message every morning or remind people about a sales meeting that's coming up or a speaker that's coming in. Find a system that works well. We currently use Group Me, but our Inscendo IQ that we're developing will have its own chat feature built in eventually, which will be nice. So yeah, find a system that works well. Another system that I think creates some sort of structure that doesn't take creativity out of what we're doing is having weekly sales meetings. And that's not a technology, but it's a process. And every Monday and Friday in all of our agencies, we do a sales meeting. And I think that leaves people open to the idea that thoughts are encouraged, that new ideas are encouraged. And so we allow the floor to be open during those sales meetings to ask our sales team and our service team what matters to them. Is this working? What's not working? And do you have any feedback on the new leads that we're developing? So have consistent and regular sales meetings. That's another, I think, structure. Like we're talking about guardrails here. Some guardrails that are good to make sure people kind of stay in line with your vision and where y'all are headed without falling off the road, but also still allows creativity and that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Let's talk a little bit about what's next for leadership and growth in systems. So how do you see automation and AI changing the definition of teamwork, and will it change the definition of teamwork?
Well, I always keep saying AI is the present, not the future. But how is it changing the definition of teamwork? I don't know if I will even could say that, other than just it helps simplify things, helps remove some remedial tasks, helps reduce tension between team members a little bit if you use it correctly.
In what ways? Meaning like the small tasks now AI or workflows?
Yeah, like for instance, assigning leads properly. So I mean, CRMs typically already do that, but automation can help find ways to assign it to a more preferred team member that may be better, more effective at working that lead.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But I think there's ways you can find AI to help remediate issues potentially between your team though too. But yeah, I don't even know. That's all I would say to that, honestly.
Well, no, that's good. And I think that too, we need to make sure our teams understand that AI will not be replacing them. It's meant to be an extension of us, and we've got to get good at prompting it well. but it's not going to be us. I mean, AI should not be a human.
Yeah.
It should assist a human.
It should only, what AI you should be using AI for is to reduce the workload for each one of your team members. Therefore, you increase the retention of that team member, the production of that team member, and the effectiveness of that team member, the efficiency of them, their daily tasks. So what a lot of agents are like, I need to be more effective and efficient with my day. Yeah. But when you have the bigger your team goes, it's actually more important that your team is more efficient than you are more efficient, because you're only one person to your team of, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, whatever it is. We have 28 people now on the farmer side. So you want to use things to help make their time efficiency. And that's why I think automation is becoming so big amongst agents now, is because we're trying to automate that hard problem, which is the front end, telemarketing.
Right.
If you can automate that, it'd be great. The calling, texting, emailing, all that. I mean, there's voice AI. We don't use voice AI right now. I would like to in the future. We're developing it right now, actually. We're trying to,
At least to route people appropriately. It might not be the end all be all. And for us licensed people out there or running licensed and certified businesses, I mean, AI can't replace those people, but they can get people to the right department. They can route people a little bit better. They can gather information.
Can't close the deal for you.
Yeah. One tool we're using on the Medicare side for our Medicare and health agencies is a system like Retire Flow, if you've heard of it. It basically will gather all the clients' medical information, like doctors and medications, in a HIPAA compliant way. I guess it's encrypted on the back end, but gather that information for you. So your team members, your licensed team members, aren't sitting there on the phone. Tell me how to spell cymbalta again. Right, or I think that's a medication. I don't know. I hope that's not some like erectile dysfunction medication that just came to mind. We hear meds all day long, but that way you're not having to worry about finding out how to spell these things, right? So find ways that AI can help your team be more efficient and not take opportunity away from them, but build them up and set them up for success. One thing that I think will never change is leadership. And I hope that people understand that. AI cannot change leadership, because I think what makes a good leader, and I don't think I know this, we've been building companies.
Skynet, AI controlling AI, then we have true leadership. No, I'm just joking.
I don't know what Skynet is, but you're 12 years younger than me. So maybe that's some AI stuff that I'm not privy to. But leadership will never change, because leadership is this. It's servanthood, right? I think a good leader, if you know how to do it well, you learn how to serve your team well, provide them opportunity, give them every tool necessary and encouraging word necessary to help them rise up. And so it's getting in the trenches with them. When they have an issue, instead of pushing it off, you try to get in and figure it out. Or your management tries to get in and figure it out. They're not telling them to go figure it out. Now, if it's something that they've brought to you over and over again and they know the answer to, that's different. But I'm talking about like real problems that come up that don't have solutions yet, getting your hands dirty. And so AI will never change leadership. It should never change teamwork. It's enhancing it and giving you where it's going to help leaders a lot is be able to see where their team's weak. So you can run reports. I know in IQ, we have a custom chat bot that you can type into that'll say, hey, show me what sales team member has the lowest close ratio. Or, hey, tell me how many of these leads have only been touched once, because we like to touch our leads. I know that's weird. I always say touch and people look at me weird. If you're touching your lead regularly, then you've got a better chance of closing it, right? So how many times are you reaching out to them? So use AI in those ways as a leader, and man, that's going to help give you insight into what you can't see that your team's currently doing or not doing, right?
Yeah, I agree. I hope people haven't figured out I'm really just drinking hot chocolate.
No coffee for you.
I can't really drink caffeine, so yeah, it does mess me up.
And if I don't have caffeine, I'm like on the freaking floor. So isn't that funny? I guess being 12 years older makes a difference.
Yeah.
Maybe when you get old, caffeine is like a must.
I'm feeling it already. I mean, these hours you got me slaving away at. No, I'm just checking now, but it's been long weeks.
Okay, let me ask you this, and we'll wrap it up. Brett, tell me what you believe rising above means.
Okay. So for anyone that doesn't know, Inscendo we got that name from our brother, Brennan, that did AI the first episode.
One of the 4 partners.
One of the 4 partners of Inscendo. And what it means, it's Latin for rise above, I believe. There might be a slightly more words to that, depending where you look up the Latin word of Inscendo. It means rise above. So what does it mean for me professionally? And did you say personally? Is that what you said?
Both.
Okay. Definitely know the personal one. The professional one is business wise. Rising above to me is uh, going to the next level, obviously. But the way of you doing that is I'm really competitive. So I want to take whoever's the best, the pinnacle in the industry, and I want to one up them. I'm that way. I'm really competitive. So if an agent's doing $1 million a month of premium, I want to go to the next level. And I want to go 1.2 million, 1.5 million
Brett's very
premium a month.
competitive.
So
Growing
yeah,
up, we would play Monopoly. And I don't know if it was
that was
you
all of
or
us.
Ryan, but someone would flip the board if they weren't
I think
winning.
it was Brennan.
Was it Brennan?
It was
Oh,
Brennan,
one
yeah.
of the 4 partners.
Yeah.
We're all super competitive. So when we play games,
Yeah.
we're on the same team now because
Yeah.
it's a dangerous place if we're
Yeah,
not.
that's true. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, because we're extremely competitive. But yes, rising above is beating the competition. I'm sorry. I know that's not humble, but I absolutely love winning. I love winning. So I love getting to the
I
next
love
level.
that.
Now, professionally, complete flip of that. I'm sorry, not
Personally.
professionally. Personally, complete flip of that. When I hear that rise above, what immediately hits me is like Jesus Christ. His job was to be a servant leader, right? That was the way he led, was to be a servant leader. So rising above is rising to his level. There is nothing more above that. That's how I see it. And that's just what hits me.
I love that.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
curious about
completely
you.
agree.
What does it mean for you? I'm actually curious.
Rise above.
You said professionally and what? And
Yeah,
personally?
and
Yeah,
personally.
that's really
Rise above to me means to take yourself to a level that's higher than where you are now. And rather that mean um, rise above the things that are holding you back right now, rise above it. It's time to get into um, the nitty gritty of why you're there, both mentally or professionally. Like get out of that, get out of the junk. So what are you going to do to rise up and above where you're currently at, and always taking that next step and that next leap. Sometimes it's a leap into the unknown. And I think that's a big part of business ownership and entrepreneurship is just be willing to go and go higher, not lateral. And sometimes that means leaping without seeing what's next, but having some basic framework in place. So yeah, it's the same thing. And Brett, servant leadership, following what Christ did. I'm a follower and believer in Christ too. So that's great. I love it. Well, friends, I think we're about wrapped up for this episode on Inscendo Effect, the second episode ever. I think we'll look back in a couple of years and be like, wow, look at these newbies.
Maybe so.
They didn't know anything about podcasts back then.
If I can ask a question, guys, before we go, please put in the comments down below. I would like to see what you would like to hear more about automation, AI. What are we struggling with out there? I know what I struggled with, but I know that may be different than other people. So please put that in the comments. Thank y'all.
That's awesome. Well, we're not done yet. I got to remind everybody, we have to make sure that everybody knows you can find us on a bunch of platforms. Go find Inscendo, INSCENDO.org. But also you can find us on Facebook, on Insta. Find us on YouTube for prior episodes of Inscendo Effect. And find Brett Bortz and me on social too. And say, hey, thanks guys for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye.